And then first, talk about your decision to run for re-election, House District 7.
Well, I mean, you know, there's plenty of work that we have left to do and continue to do here for our residents of House District 7. And, you know, it's important that, you know, to continue to utilize experienced relationships and knowledge of the issues to make sure that we continue to move House District 7 in a positive direction.
So, Melissa, I wanted to get to this right away. Your opponent, Melissa Beckett, filed that lawsuit against you for what she says defamation after you accused her of wanting to eliminate the Texas teacher retirement system. I spoke with her this morning, and she completely denies it, never, you know, saying anything along this line. She's also claiming that this accusation has negatively impacted her campaign. I wanted to get your response to this lawsuit. I know you sent a statement to our newsroom, but can you just address that? Yeah.
A defamation lawsuit in a campaign such as this, the bar is the truth. And we have no reason to believe that this won't be totally, you know, dismissed and exonerated. You know, when you look at her organization, 911 Public Ed, I think is the name of it. They've changed the name back and forth. She was endorsed by them. She's the founder. And the information we provided came right off of their platform. So it starts with the truth. Is it the truth? The truth is what they put out. We only, you know, provided that information, and there's more to come to that as well. It wasn't just about the retired teachers system, which is one of the best funds in the whole state of Texas. And if I'm a teacher or a retired teacher, I'd be very concerned about it. But we're going to make sure to be reelected, and we will make sure that that never happens.
Were you surprised by the lawsuit, especially,
you know, we're running against, you know, an opponent who has no experience, hasn't been in this community for a very long time, and they have no record to run on, so they are basically working using misinformation and stunts such as this to try to distract. But, you know, we have a lot of good common sense conservatives here, and I have a lot of people that I've worked with for a long time that know me and know that this is simply just a frivolous lawsuit, you know, in campaigns that isn't going anywhere.
Switching over to your top priorities, what are they as the March 3rd primaries?
Well, my priorities continue to be the same. You know, we have a lot of work to do to continue to secure our border. We've got to really get into the whole immigration issue to try to, you know, fix some loopholes that are still there. You know, property taxes, I filed several bills last session to, you know, do away with property taxes, but we have a major issue in terms of how we fund our great rural public schools here in East Texas. So we have a lot of work to do on that. I was very involved, engaged, passed legislation to protect our water here locally. And so we have additional work to do. As chairman of the House Committee on Insurance, you know, one of my big issues is how do we work to lower the price of insurance for the residents, not only of HD7, but for residents of the state of Texas.
Yeah, speaking of, my next question was about the water. You've been very outspoken about that in the past, but what would be your message to East Texans here thinking of possibly voting for you at the March primary, of what you're going to continue to do?
Well, what I've got to continue to do is what I did as mayor of Longview for a long time. Dallas has a huge thirst for East Texas water. They have a lot of money when it comes to acquiring other people's water rights, et cetera, and I'm going to continue to make sure that they can't do that. Unfortunately, my opponent got involved with some things outside of our district that were basically, you know, worked against some of the things that we've already put in place for protecting Lake of the Pines. So we've got to go further now to make sure that we do not lose our water rights for Lake of the Pines and Caddo Lake.
Yeah, and you also mentioned immigration there, so as another top priority. What would you say to locals here who are, you know, with the recent ICE raids around the country, some in Texas here, what would you say to some locals that maybe are nervous about their future in the country, in East Texas, if they're not in the country legally.
You know, of course, I was one of the founders of St. Matthew's Catholic Church. We probably have the largest Hispanic population of any church in Longview. And my message to them has been, you know, two things really. You know, if you came in illegally, there's programs for you to return home and have an expedited return in a legal fashion. And you know, that's what they should be doing. They also should be, if they're here illegally, they don't need to be. They know one another very well. They need to avoid the criminal actors, the people with really bad criminal records as well. But I think the main thing is they need to go back to their country and under the programs that the president has provided, and come back the right way. I mean, look, let's be realistic. We need these people, especially in construction work and other areas that they do a great job. So let's all work together, and let's do the right things and have people come in the right way.
The economy, a big issue right now in the United States. When it comes with the East Texas economy and making it, you know, continuing to be affordable over the next 5 to 10 years, how would you make sure East Texans?
One of the things I've always worked on is economic development. You know, we have to continue to provide great jobs, great paying jobs for the residents of House District 7. We have several things in the works now. I've been in the oil and gas business for 45 years. Oil and gas continues to drive the economy in House District 7. And we need to continue to work to provide. I mean, we have a lot of jobs available in the oil and gas business, but it's to continue to work on the skill sets required to bring people into the industry. And we continue to do that every day.
Governor Abbott coming on Wednesday, campaign with you. Talk to me about having him by your side as the March primaries are coming up, and do you think that's going to give you a major boost come election?
Well, you know, we always hope it gives us a major boost, but we were endorsed by President Trump and by Governor Abbott. I've known Governor Abbott since I've been down in Austin. Governor Abbott spent a lot of his early years as a kid here in Longview, so he considers Longview. Hey, how's my Longview doing? Every time I see him in Austin, so we're excited that he's coming, and hopefully, you know, to help rally people to get out and go vote.
Is there any issues that maybe you haven't addressed publicly or talked about too much that you want to focus on if you get reelected? Maybe some underrated issues, things you're looking at that maybe a lot of people don't know about?
Well, you know, one thing, you know, that we were able to do, in particular for Marion County, which is, you know, on a per capita income basis, one of the poorest counties in the state of Texas, was to get them on the initial list for, you know, improving and increasing high-speed broadband. There's a lot of people in our community that today still does not have high-speed broadband. I mean, I was finding, like in Marion County, for instance, that, you know, parents are having to take their kids to the McDonald's parking lot or a Walmart or somewhere to do their homework. So that doesn't get talked about enough, but I'm very proud of that initiative to bring more and to continue to increase funding for high-speed internet broadband, you know, for our community.
What do you think is going to decide this race in the end?
I think the truth. I think the record. I think the fact that people know me, they've known me for a long time, both as a city council member, as a mayor, so in city government, and they know my record as a representative, and they know that you know, that I fight for my district. I always have, and I'll continue to be a warrior for House District 7, and people know that. There's a lot of common sense conservatives here that, you know, a lot of the misinformation, I mean, that's all my opponents have, right? No record, no experience, no knowledge of the issues, so they've got to try to misinform people in that way. But, you know, when you visit and talk to people and explain issues, etc., people get it. And we're confident that's going to help us.
And then finally, your message right now to East Texans, specifically in House District 7, that might be leaning towards voting for your opponent, how can you maybe sway them?
Well, I mean, again, it's all about what the truth is. It's all about the record. It's all about me being a resident of this community for 35 years, me serving in office, me serving in the public for a long time as well, 28 years, I think. So they know me. They know who I am, and they know when I say something, I mean it. When I say I'm going to do something, I do it. And that's very important.